is a Bramble Jam podcast.
Hi, I'm Bran, and I love The Way Home.
Hi, I'm Ryan, and I watch The Way Home.
I'm Dan, and I'm being forced to watch The Way Home against my will, and this is the Deck the Hallmark podcast.
Deck the Hallmark, it's this podcast.
Brandon and friends host this podcast. We hope you like this jolly podcast.
Well, hello, everybody. It is great to be here today.
Yes.
Once again, talking about The Way Home. I'm the only one happy to be here.
Yeah, you are. I mean, I'm trying. No, listen, I'm happy to be here with my friends, hanging out.
I'm happy to be here.
Is that a Crusader basketball sweatshirt you got rocking today?
Believe it.
Yeah, it is. Heck yeah.
You love the Crusades.
Fits great.
You love the Crusades.
Yeah. No, this really is a really well-fitting hoodie. Thanks
Dude,
again,
it
man.
fits great. No. I mean, anybody, whenever I was coaching basketball and Rye Guy reached out and said, if you've got any gear, and I was like, dude, anybody that reaches out and asks for gear, I give them gear. He's never done that ever.
But I will say I am notoriously against the Crusades. I think
that's
it's
true.
a dark point
Yeah,
in
they
history.
should change the name. We're not arguing
Ask
that.
me how many times I said the word Crusader while coaching the Crusaders. It was less than one.
Yep. I'm just here to support my buddy Dan.
Thank you, man. I appreciate
Change the
that.
name, sure.
Dude, they should have changed that name years ago.
I do want to. It's Wednesday, which means it's Survivor night, and I know that a new episode is premiering tonight. But Ryan, we haven't actually got a chance to talk about
What an
last
episode.
week's episode,
Beast Games,
starring
baby.
Mr. Beast.
God,
Yeah,
that guy's
Jimmy.
That guy's the worst.
Jimbo, if you will. Little Mister, as I like to call him sometimes. It's a fun thing that I do. I've talked about it over on Making the Merge.
Great podcast.
So I've shared my thoughts on it, but in short for you, Rye Guy, I will sum it up very quickly, which is just really like the twist. It's a phenomenal episode. I didn't need all of the bowing down at the feet of Jimmy.
No, thank you.
But really fun episode. And of the twist this season, this was the most inventive and fun of the twists.
I agree. For anyone, real quick exposition for anyone who didn't watch. Basically, the really short way to put it is Mr. Beast made a cameo appearance and he had someone flip a coin. And if the coin landed one way, that person got immunity and the prize pot went to $2 million.
And an idol.
And an extra idol. And if the coin flipped the other way, that person just went home and nothing.
Dude, what a high stakes. Holy cow.
Yeah, I loved it.
Jimbo, Little Mister's does stuff like that on his show, Beast Games, but bringing it to Survivor and doing a Survivor twist on it, which, is involving you get an immunity idol. You're safe from this vote. You still get to vote to send somebody out, and then adding to the pot was a really cool way to, I think, marry both of those two things together.
I think in the execution of it, ultimately, I really liked it. Brand, did you see that? Joe was not happy at all.
Yeah, Joe was not happy.
Yeah, that was great. I think that it's interesting to play out the scenario where the coin flips the other way. I am a little curious about the legitimacy of this coin.
I am too. I am too. I'm with you, Rye Guy.
I think it's great TV either way.
It is.
Oh, I know. I agree. And I think to that point, and then I want to hear from Dan, because I agree that either way, I would have been good with it. But it's certainly a different conversation a day, a week after if it goes the other way, right? It's much better for the show that it's now $2 million.
I have a hard.
It should have been $2 million to begin with.
Yes,
CBS is cheap,
correct.
So.
Yes.
Sure. Yeah. So I will say, though, my top level thought on it was I thought the episode was great, super exciting. I liked it either way, but I think it would be fair for someone to be like, this is a ridiculous thing. And what at a certain point, Dan, I don't know if you feel this way. It's like I have this conversation with Brand all the time. How many twists are too, at what point is the Dungeons and Dragons of the game master just gets to do whatever they want to this Survivor game too much?
I hated Jeff Probst playing a game. I hated the thing 2 weeks ago.
I thought that was fun.
I thought that was really, really stupid. And I hated the Jimmy Fallon twist. I thought that him having to read that out loud
too far.
And I don't like.
I agree.
I don't like Christian. I was thrilled that he went home. I just didn't like the twist. I hate Mr. Beast. I think Mr. Beast is, I don't even think he's an above board human being.
Oh, wow. Does he have controversy? I don't know anything about it.
Honestly, the week that he was more controversy came
and
out.
I also think the way that they talk about him in this episode, they deify him, and it drove me nuts. Having said all that, if you remove the auction, this is a perfect episode of television.
He doesn't like auction.
Well, I don't
It's
like
a Survivor thing.
It doesn't make
it's a
it
Survivor
it didn't make any sense. And Chase said this. Chase was saying a lot of things I thought this week on Making the Merge. Chase said, "What happens if they don't want to put $20 in?" Like the idea that you're holding letters from home over them, like they might not get them, was crazy.
Yeah. Well,
like,
but Dan hasn't seen them bring people to the island only for them not to be able to hug or say anything to their families who have to watch them walk away.
I'm out on that.
Dan hasn't seen
out on that. Yeah. So my thing was, this twist was amazing, but it goes to another level when you happen to have a player who is a riverboat gambler because he's going home. Like it just so happened you had the perfect personality and player, the YOLO whatever, I don't care, to go with this absolute super risk reward twist. And so if you could have shortened, and they just made it too long an episode, if you could have shortened the auction down to 3 or 4 minutes, I mean, I could have watched them talk about who they should vote for, and then the tribal
great scramble
even longer.
Dude,
can I add one?
I could have watched an hour of them on the island talking tribal and the coin flip. I could have watched an hour of that. It was
I've
great.
seen a few people say this. I promise I thought of it in real time while watching the episode. I think it would have been really interesting if they had to literally go vote for the person that was going to flip the coin. I think that would have been like
awesome.
So, because now, granted, most people probably would have voted for Rick, but somebody might, like Joe, might be like, "I don't care. I'm not going to have Rick flip."
So
this coin,
I do question the authenticity of the coin. I think that they were going to give him $1 million regardless, and you can't talk me out of that. But what was fascinating about the coin is Rick Devens wants to flip the coin, and every other player to a degree, most of them to the fullest degree, they don't want Rick Devens to flip it because they want him to go home. He's been lying to them the whole time. He's an easy vote out. But the problem is they don't want him to go, but they want to stay more. And
and they want another $1 million.
Exactly.
So that's like what makes it a fun twist.
That's why it was a great.
It was a perfect
push and pull
twist where it's a lot of Survivor to win. And what I've watched this season is you just kind of have to take your medicine and determine what's the best terrible thing. Like that is what I've determined makes Suri really, really good at the show is that she just stays like this and has a good idea in her head how to prioritize bad scenarios. And so watching all of them having to process the worst scenario in real time was great television. And it was as good a television as Mr. Beast is terrible.
Right. I will say this is a different conversation we can do on Making the Merge DTH Part 2
of course.
sometime down the road. But like, Bran, I did laugh when watching the episode when they were like, all right, whoever it was, the Mr. Jeff, like,
Mr.
he's
Jeff,
like, all right, we got to get rid of the biggest threat. I'm like, oh, they could finally figure out that Suri. We got to get rid of strategic mastermind Ozzy. I
have like
and
Suri,
Suri
is, don't get me wrong, I love Suri and she's playing really well, but Dan, this group is just they're just being dumb. They're just letting her go.
Suri has come around on. I have a lot more respect for her than I did initially, but the idea that you guys have watched this show for 50 seasons, for 25 years, a quarter of a century, and have not figured out that you show up and you go, every time she has to participate in a physical challenge, your tribe goes to tribal. Every time. She sucks at it. And she's really great on the island. So every time, if you've watched the show for 25 years, you get together and you go, hey, there's 5 of us. There's 1 of her. I know you love her. You got to send her packing. She can't do this again.
And then Dan would go home that night.
That's right. But how have they not figured that? No one's tried it.
People speak out about Suri and then they go home.
But they don't do it wisely. They go to her and they be like, we're trying to get out Ozzy again. And every time it's the only time you get any response from her. Like, stop telling her.
It both speaks to her mastery that everyone knows how huge of a threat she is among this group and she's still there, but it's just like she's not actually a wizard. They should just go, she's really great at this. We should get rid of her.
I just don't
not
get
actually
it.
a wizard. As far as we know.
It's crazy.
I mean, maybe, who knows? Like, we can't
She
rule it
might
out.
be a wizard.
But I mean, I will say this, her as soon as there is no denying the area that I'm wrong, and I figured I would be, I'd never really seen her play, is the area I'm wrong is when she finds out something that she doesn't like, she does a great job of not reacting and then fixing it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that that's very impressive.
And then she says who she wants to go
probably the
home.
best. She's probably the best
home.
counter puncher in the history of
And
the
the
show.
first time I've ever really felt something for her was getting a letter from her dad. I thought that was awesome.
Yeah, that was beautiful.
Yeah, that's 50. You know, she's Gen X, right? A Gen X letter from your father that's never written one that's a moment that almost shouldn't be on Survivor. Like, she should get to have her privacy on that one. That was pretty amazing. That was pretty good stuff. So
I did get
Really
Rizzo posted that he wanted to flip the coin, and he looked over at Suri, and Suri said, "Don't you dare."
They're a fun dynamic.
Which is
too.
very,
It's been
like-
a fun season. I don't know if I'll ever watch the show again.
I
After
just
this, but
love
it's been a
so
fun
much
season.
that before the season started, Suri was like, "I've never met a Rizzo I trust. There's no way I'm playing with Rizzo." And immediately, like,
that's number one for her. Ozzy and Rizzo. What a three-headed monster there. Yeah, that's a
very fun.
all right, let's talk Way Home. Way Home,
Oh,
season 4, episode
sure.
3. It's
Do we
called
have to?
Dust in the Wind.
Dust in the wind.
Guys, we already have a Survivor podcast on the network. We can't do another one.
I know. I'm
Can
not
we just
on
clip
it,
that
though.
off and put it on the Making the Merge
That's
feed?
right. Put it on the
That was
feed.
good, right?
Put it on the feed.
The Way Home, season 4, episode 3, Dust in the Wind, aired on May 3rd, 2026. And it went a little something like this. In the 70s, Colton goes to confront Grif. I thought it was comfort, but then I
Goes
remembered.
to confront Griff.
Confront Grif. He sees Alice and is like, "Oh, you must be Dell." Obviously, Colton corrects him, and then Alice is like, "I gotta leave. Gotta go.
Deuces.
I gotta go." In the present, Dell is telling Elliot that she can't help but wonder if Griffin took Tessa into the pond. She suspects that they may have had a thing. Elliot is like, "You kept this from me my entire life. You've known, but you kept it from me. You stole fizzy lifting drinks." And then he's like, "You know what families have done to this family, and your or secrets have done to this family, and you're still keeping secrets." And then he storms
Families
off.
could have done something to him.
You know what families have done to this family?
families have done to this
Oh, that's honestly, though, it's so true.
So true.
Alice hears all of this and decides to jump again. And to see if she can find out more. But she shows up 2 years later than when she just jumped just a little while ago. Evelyn has had her kid, and he's already 2 years old, and Griffin's been gone for 2 years. So a wasted trip. Kat sees the bullet on Alice's nightstand that she got from the tunnel last episode, and tells her that hey, I found this, and Kat's like, interesting. Dell and Sam are riding horses. Heck yeah, brother. Sam is like, "I wonder if you should move in with me," and he's like, I know about the pond. Not I know about the pond, but I know that you have a pond, and I don't know anything about the pond, but I know you have one. And then the horse that they're on gets nervous. Rig, is that you?
Hello?
We don't have time, Wrigley.
We
actually.
don't. I haven't been on this show in ages.
I
You
know.
called me.
You spoke up
Yeah.
when I said horse.
No, did you say horse? Why are you saying that? That's a potty mouth you got there. You got
Horse,
potty
Wrigley.
mouth.
Horse.
Colton is horse.
I'm a big
Colton is-
Q guy on Survivor.
Really?
He
I can
speaks
see
his
that.
mind.
I can
love
see
it.
that.
I
Yeah.
love
You got
Q.
yourself a Q skirt?
I got a Q skirt?
Yes.
I don't have a Q skirt.
Okay, very good.
Yeah. Bet.
So
It's
he.
fine. I'm going back to pin bowling. We'll see
All
you
right,
guys
love
later.
you, buddy.
Yep.
Love you.
Yeah, love you, buddy.
And
Good to
then
see you, right, guy.
the horse
Yep.
gets nervous
You too,
when it
Wrigley.
gets close to the rock.
I
Remember-
put my hand up on your hip. When I dip you, dip we. Oh, am I still on? I'm really sorry. I put Freak to Nasty in the karaoke machine, and it was my turn. That's on me.
That's okay.
You should have cut me off. It's not on me. When I dip you, and I put my. I'm sorry. I'm trying to stay with both at the same time. It's
Are
really
you
tough.
glitching?
It's something. I'm just trying to do my.
All
When
right.
I dip you, dip we dip. That's it.
Dip off air,
All
okay,
right, I'm
bud?
dipping. We'll see you. Turn me off this time, okay?
Okay.
And I put my.
So, the horses freak out when they get close to the rock that the suitcase
Did you
was
say
buried.
horses?
Whatever. Alice is hanging out with her boyfriend Noah and best friend Max. You know them both.
Yeah.
Noah says that he's thinking about opening a restaurant in the big city. Max is not supportive of this, but Alice tells him that if he feels like it's the right thing to do, go for it. They can just start long distance early. And when Max and Alice goes to leave, Max tells her, "Hey, it's probably not going to work when you guys go long distance." And she's like, "What do you even know about love?" Elliot surprises Kat with a last-minute getaway to the cabin in the woods. What could go wrong? Elliot's dad shows up looking for him, but he's nowhere to be found. He's in the cabin in the woods. So he goes to question Del, and he tells Del that Elliot's been calling him asking about his mom. Del says, I told him the truth. Tessa left both of you and fell in love with Colton's brother. When they get to the cabin, we find out that Elliot has brought his engagement ring. Is it finally time? No. Alice goes back in time to talk to Evelyn and check on the baby. Evelyn is excited to see her, but questions why she's bailed before the baby was born. While they're talking, guess who walks up to take their order? It's Tessa. While out on a hike, Elliot goes to propose, but he doesn't get to do that because before proposing, he decides now's the good time to talk about having kids. Crazy time to do that, brother. But that conversation ends up getting cut short because they both get phone calls that Elliot's dad is back in town. So Elliot's dad joins Del and Sam for dinner to hash things out some more. It's a good time. Alice watches Victor Augustine, Elliot's dad, ask Tessa out on a date. Oh, that's nice. And then she watches as Tessa steals money and then looks at Alice and puts her finger on her mouth like, don't you tell. Elliot goes back to see the happy-go-lucky dinner and is like, what's going on here? I don't want to interrupt this happy reunion. I'm mad at everything in my life. Kat goes to talk to him, tells him that she's open to continuing the conversation about kids, but he needs to work things out with his dad. While looking at pictures of Tessa, she recognizes the bracelet that she's wearing. Turns out it's the same bracelet that Fern was wearing in that reel from the 20s. She concludes that must mean that Tessa did in fact go back to the 20s. Elliot says, how can he, is talking to his dad and is like, how can he be sure that mom died if he never saw her again? He gave her this letter that he received from her saying that she's dying. So that's good. Kat goes back to confront Fern about the whole bracelet thing, and Fern's like, I don't know what you're talking about. Let's go to the speakeasy. And she performs a song, and then Kat overhears the Big Bag Augustine boys talking about trying to, quote unquote, get rid of her. Kat is shocked to hear Fern singing Tainted Love. That's a newer song.
Tainted Love.
That's right. So she goes to confront her about singing the song from the future when she starts feeling a little bit funky. She collapses as Cliff comes down the stairs to break up the party, and Fern looks over her and says, oh, kitty cat, what are we going to do with you? Elliot and his dad make up, and then the clock chimes at 11:11 like always, and he says, and the dad is like, your mom always used to say, make a wish at 11:11. And the episode ends with Kat waking up in a jail cell in the 20s, we think. And that, my friends,
News
was
to me.
The Way Home, Season 4, Episode 3, Dust in the Wind. Let's take a break. We're going to come back. We're going to break this episode down here on Deck the Hallmark.
Deck the Hallmark. We did it.
I got it.
I forgot to say we did it, and I just got all...
You can't just say we did it.
We did it.
20 seconds late.
But in my head, it was like, say it.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back. We're talking about The Way Home, Season 4, Episode 3, Dust in the Wind. It's time for the hot take. It's where we share exactly how we felt about this episode. I'll start with you, Rye Guy. Rye, what'd you think about it?
Yeah, I'm not gonna say anything about past episodes or seasons of The Way Home. I'm gonna strictly focus. This is my objective for today. I'm gonna strictly focus on this episode. And you know what? I want to say that although I have not enjoyed the first 2 episodes of this season, I don't believe that I would call them, and I think we all agree, they're not awful, right? They haven't been terrible, right?
We're not in the 1800s.
Right. So I will say that my big observation coming out of this episode is that the rules are long gone, especially with the pond, but just time travel in general. And so if you want me to focus just on this episode, which
what rules do you think they broke in this episode?
Well, I think we talked about this offline, Bran, or maybe we talked about it on air last week. I don't recall, but I don't believe it was on the show. But like, how is Kat even in this video? They couldn't even remember who Alice was in season 1.
This is a huge deal.
That was a comment that somebody left on an episode of ours, which I thought was a really good point. If Alice is like faded in the photograph,
90s Cat or present Cat can't see the picture of her best friend from the 90s. Can't remember that her daughter was her
Alice
best friend.
is like fuzzy in
but
the picture.
yet
but
we
Kat-
have this film reel and Kat is coming through no problem.
And that's a great point. And
Right.
if somebody who is a bigger, like a detail person of the show, then what can explain it, then wonderful. But that is a question.
And then
I'm
also there
open
was
to-
another one on Facebook about the dates and how they just
Right.
basically
Yeah,
the show just admitted. You know,
And that's the
like,
thing. And like, I think if the three of us cared a little bit more, we'd possibly be being even harder on the show. 'Cause
correct.
We'd be remembering,
I
like,
think
you
we're
know,
giving this show a break. I want to be really
right.
clear.
And I will say, as we've lamented many, many times, we all loved season 1, but I think we were a little forgiving of Alice being fuzzy in season. Like, I
when
think we all
things
at
are
the time were
good,
like,
it's easy to be forgiving.
the show's really good. Let's not think too hard about this. So I will say that doesn't make sense. It would be sick if after all of these years of nearly nude Sam is actually a villain. I just don't like this episode. Definitely wants to all the musical cues, the way they're having him deliver lines. They are trying to at least red herring us into thinking that he's a villain. I don't actually think that's what the show is going to do, but it would be cool if after the three of us have gone 0 for 83 on trying to figure out who the villain of this show is, if they finally have one. Elliot's dad continually being brought back for me is diminishing returns. I don't know if I've ever really cared about their family dynamic at all, but at least there was in the last season or two, those really tense scenes. And Elliot is a principal character, so to flesh out his backstory was important. But the more they bring him back, I feel like the more we just kind of go ring around the rosy with it. And it's the same old stuff over and over. To the point of Elliot, him and Kat continue to have no chemistry. And not only do they have no chemistry, I feel like they really go out of their way to make them very unlikable and just like unrelatable to the audience. Like they've done this whole hoopla song and dance for years. And at no point on or off camera, they've talked about what they're going to do with kids after they get married. It's just like, they're just very unlikable character. I like Kat. Elliot for me is just a whiner, but together they're just really insufferable. Listen, in a vacuum, I thought the last couple minutes, like the episode is building drama at a decent clip. The cliffhanger, like I said, is cool. I'm just still not, as I said a minute ago, overwhelmingly interested. There's nothing terrible to say, and I'm not going to go on a soliloquy about how if they did the things I thought they should have done, maybe we'd be in a better place. Bran, I watched the episode. I'm not overwhelmingly interested, but maybe next week.
It's fine. I was not bored. I'm not bored this season like I was in the 1800s, and there's enough going on to keep me intrigued. I'm, interested to see how all this ties up. It does feel like in the 20s, Fern. I don't know if Fern and Cliff are kind of working together at the end of this episode to try to, with the Augustine boys, everybody knows that she's time traveling. I don't know. So there's at least intrigue there, which is nice. And so, yeah, I'm intrigued. I'm intrigued to see where the season goes overall. Dano?
Yeah, it's just tough. It's a tough watch. There was a show on AMC called The Killing a while back. Anybody here remember The Killing? Anybody? No. It was based off of a Danish show.
Brandon, are you okay? You're coughing a lot.
Oh, yeah.
No, this is as good as he sounded all week.
But I'm back.
Okay.
The Killing was a show that was a season-long murder mystery, and I'm going to spoil it for you. At the end of the season, it was based on a Danish show. They do not. I can't believe this. You really are trying to not get a spoiler here in case you want to watch.
If I ever watch it?
Well, I'm going to spoil it for you now. I was shocked that you did that.
Okay.
This is important for my point, though. I can't believe this. They don't reveal the killer at the end of season 1, and they made you watch another season of the show. Okay.
Wow.
Now you're good.
Okay, I'm back.
So after 2 seasons of The Killing, when it's resolved, they did a third season of The Killing, and they made it a new mystery altogether. And it was really great. Maybe better than the first 2. What's killing me, I think, about this show is
Killing.
and what is the Oz? What's killing me about this show is that we know this is the last season. If I will be transparent with you, this show would not be good if it wasn't the last season. But if they had said, hey, this isn't the last season of The Way Home, but we're basically starting a new mystery of the pond, right? If they did that, and I knew that we had more than 6 episodes left, or 7 or whatever. If I knew that, then this would be fine. I think this would be borderline Why? Like, okay, I'm in for another one. Like, it's not good. It's not building off of anything that came before it, but there are enough threads here in the Prohibition era that they still don't understand Prohibition, but in the Prohibition era with her getting drugged or something slipped in her drink or whatever, and then the 70s and them connecting them. The problem is that it's just a little bit of intrigue. And we have 7 episodes left in a series that's building a bridge to nowhere. And so it's really hard. If I didn't know this was the last season, I would be a little bit more lenient, I think, especially with the Kat and Alice storylines. Now, Elliot, played by Evan Williams, who we all know is a good actor. We've seen him in season 1. What they are doing to his character is a tragedy. It's an absolute tragedy. He's impossible to watch. Impossible. Every time Elliot is on screen in this episode, it is nails on a chalkboard. And I hate that because he was one of my favorite characters in season 1. But this dude who's become very emo about his mother all of a sudden and doesn't know when to ask for Kat for her hand in marriage. Like it's just tough. It's a tough storyline and he's whining constantly and we'd rather be doing anything else. We'd rather
It's also,
go ahead.
Real quick, Dan, it's also tough because the show, it's the arc of the character isn't that he's whining
Correct.
and going on a journey. The
Yeah.
show wants us to have empathy for him.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
it's just unearned. It's completely unearned, and you just roll your eyes. And when he is, I don't know if you guys remember, but in season 1, Elliot's the one guy that knew about the time travel the whole time. Like he's the one guy who's in the past and lives from past to present, knowing that time travel exists. Talk about ultimate power. Like what a cool character to be reduced to just, Fall Out Boy songs cited as lines of dialogue. Like he is just every time he's on screen, it gets cloudy and not in like I really see what this character's going through way. In a, we don't know what to do with him. So let's let him do this way. And so the stuff in the 20s and 70s is mildly fine, but not building anything. And since we know it's the last season, that sucks. And then the character of Elliot and Dell, I'll throw Dell in that. Dell feels like she's doing nothing. That kind of sucks. So it's not as bad as season 3 for sure. But it's not good, and I'm ready for it to be done. And I'll give it another shot next week.
I would say at the very least, even if you're a big Elliot fan, which there are many out there, you would have to acknowledge that he probably shouldn't propose right now. Like,
Should not propose.
like
Sure.
I think you gotta work.
Even if you're
you gotta-
still team LCAT. I don't know what you're calling
And
them,
I would
but
also just say
The LCATs.
This is just advice. I know I'm young. What do
That's what they should have changed the Crusaders.
Yeah,
to.
the
Yeah.
LCATs, man.
I'm young, but I am married, and I will say an important conversation to have before you have the ring in your hands
Is kids.
do we want to
Yeah,
have
I
more
would
kids?
Yeah, man.
So I think there's a lot to work through there, and I would encourage him to put in that work. All right, it's time for feels, right, guy?
Frustrated feels because young Dell is barely ever featured on this show,
Never.
but when they do show her and stuff, like the 1 30-second scene she had in this episode, I think the actress is really good, but I think she actually fleshes the Dell character out overall.
Yeah.
And so it's frustrating that no offense to young Colton, who I also think is a talented kid. He's everywhere on this show, right? But young Dell is like blink and you miss her. And so now we're not just disservicing Andie MacDowell and current Dell, we're also disservicing younger Dell. They just don't. I don't know. The handling of that character is really crazy to me.
It is a great point because like it is possible to watch this show and just have the what is Dell's deal?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I do think young Dell we find out in this episode, I didn't talk about it, but she had been trying to get pregnant with Colton for 3 years at that point. And so clearly at some point they do have kids and then one of those kids goes there's a lot there, right? And so giving any sort of backstory about why she is the way that she is now is
so
good.
far.
To Dan's point from a minute ago, that could have been the whole season.
Yeah, man. Yeah,
and maybe that would make up for the fact that they've written her like a dope for the first 3 years.
To this point, the Andie MacDowell, the best actor on this program, she could have filmed all of her scenes in a day.
Yeah.
In 3 episodes. I mean,
And there's nothing for her to do with the material. It's all
so bad.
Well, I don't know about the pond, or now that I know, I don't know
and
what's going on.
that's an effective Southern accent you're doing, which is what she's doing in Canada as well, which is crazy. She says biscuits at one point. I'm like, man, she said biscuits correct. Why in the world is she in Canada?
There is a scene in this episode where Alice is at the pond and her best friend Max comes up behind her. And they end up going into the pond, and she's he pushes her in, and he goes in, and he's nervous. She's nervous, like, oh my gosh, don't ever do that again. But when he walks up behind her, he's like, "You have a pond? Is that why you're always kind of damp?" I gotta be honest, got a good chuckle out of me.
That was for you.
That was for me, because this girl continues to wear jeans when she knows she's
4
gonna
years
be
in.
and. Yeah, here's the thing. When you do that, you're always going to be damp.
You're always going to be damp.
Jeans take a long time to dry.
Yeah.
I appreciated it. Dan?
Yeah, that's it. That's good.
All right, let's take a break. We'll come back. We will
Biscuits.
we'll get to the
Biscuits.
Way Wet and the sink or swim here on
Deck the Hallmark.
We did it. Hi, everybody. Welcome back.
Oh, man.
Welcome back. Deck the Hallmark. We're talking about The Way Home Season 4, Episode 30. It is time for The Way What. Is where we're talking about what in this episode made us go, Way What. I'll start with you, right, guy?
Yeah. How does Alice not know that's a bullet casing? Like, what else would it have been?
Oh, my goodness.
What? Oh, I don't know what this bullet-shaped metal thing was. Like, what,
Also, why grab it if you don't know that it is?
It says bullet on the side of it. What could it be?
How stupid was that? Is Noah and Alice the worst built-up romance in the history of television?
Real bad.
Like, forget who is young Dell. Who is this Noah guy? And why am I supposed to care about his fish and chips truck going global?
And why does he look so much like her dad?
Yes, from the 90s. Yeah. Could have been the same actor.
And then last one for me, much like they finally paid off these characters always being damp, I hope the show actually pays off Evelyn being frustrated with Alice always being gone for weeks, months, years at a time. And I think that's where they're going. But like, again, one of the things I think we were very forgiving of, especially in the early year, is that, like these characters from the past, like, and they did touch on it somewhat in season 1, but like these characters from the past never care that Alice is gone for like months at a time with no it's just lazy writing. So I hope they pay that off. Yeah, that's it for me.
100%.
I got one. I did get a kick out of Alice is at Coils, whatever the place is called.
Yeah, you got it.
In the 70s, and Tessa comes up to take the order, and from that moment on, Alice cannot stop looking at Tessa. And I'm like, Alice, you have to stop.
You got to do something else.
There's she's going to be quite suspicious of you literally looking at her the entire time you're in. You got to play it cool, pal. Like maybe you can get to know her. Maybe you become friends with her. Try to understand. If you're not just like,
yeah, people are going to catch on pretty quick if you just stare the whole time.
At me. Yeah. And even her friend, even like Colton's like, hey,
you're great.
You're great. And then I also got a kick out of the fact that the clock goes off, and then at 7 o'clock.
7 o'clock.
Elliot is like, it does that. It does that every time at 11:11. And then his dad says, yeah, that's just like what Mom used to say.
Dude,
make a wish at 11:11. She said that. Really? No one else has ever. I've never heard that before. Only Elliot's mom says it's 11:11. Make a wish.
I would possibly submit that for one of the worst scenes of television of all time. Like, it is crazy how he just happens to bring up a mom saying, never brought it up before, and it's Armistice Day, guys. 11:11 is famous already for
a time that you make a wish.
Yes, 11. Literally at 11:11 on 11:11. They ended World War I. Like, it's very famous. And this scene between what Evan Williams has been reduced to just a mope and his dad, who's a strange father. Well, it chimes at 11:11. You know what Mom used to say? No, Dad, I don't. What did she say about 11:11?
The whole point of the season.
Make a wish. Make a wish on 11:11.
Turns out the thing that his mom used to always say is this thing that a lot of people say.
Yeah.
So it's not actually
all.
interesting at all.
Really brutal. Really
You know
brutal.
what Mom always said, if at first you don't succeed,
That's right.
try
the
again.
early bird
Yeah.
gets the worm at 11:11.
That's right.
Yeah.
Dan?
Yeah, nothing undercuts the urgency they're trying to build, like a cabin getaway between two people that look like they don't want to be in the same room with each other. Elliot and Kat have lost all chemistry, like all. And I know that some of this is on purpose, but at one point, and we laughed really hard at this, Brand, at one point, Elliot's trying to get a fire started, and Kat is reading a book, and Elliot says, if you put that book down, we can snuggle up next to this soon-to-be roaring fire. And Kat interrupts him to say, listen to this, and proceeds to read out of the book. And I know that that's on purpose, but I just, if the cabin getaway isn't for a proposal, and it isn't to further the mystery of the season, and it isn't to break them up, why did we do the cabin? Why did we do the cabin? Does anybody know why we did the cabin?
No
answer.
No answer. And then also, Elliot starts a fire. The chimney clearly doesn't work or needs to be cleaned out. And he says, why don't we go for a walk? And they promptly leave that smoke going.
This would be the equivalent of
That-
Rye Guy being like, hey, when you like, because this is a coworker of
Yeah.
his, is letting him use his cabin. I'd be like, hey, I'm gonna be gone. You and Caitlin come up to Connecticut. You can stay at my apartment. I try to start a fire in his fireplace,
And then you
smoke
walk out.
Smoke fills up the living room, and I go, we should get out of here.
We should go for a walk.
Thankfully, I have that Spider-Man suit, so I'll be
Dude,
all
you'll
right.
be fine. But I'm pretty
Good
sure.
callback 2 days ago.
Wow, it's a really good memory, dude. I'm pretty sure Elliot just burned it down. I'm pretty sure, like, when you see black smoke like that, and you see that it's not going through the chimney, there's only a few places that smoke can go. And there seemed to be a lot of good kindling in that particular, like,
Well, it is a wooden cabin.
like, you got to show him putting the fire out, right?
Log cabin.
Yeah. At one point, Kat looks at Alice and says, no more talk about the past. Are you joking me right now? Guys, come on.
Watch the show.
Yeah, you don't get the show. There is a background actor who would be wrinkling the page of this scene, but he's already balled it up and thrown it in the trash can. There's a background actor in the Roaring 20s who is smoking a cigarette and reacting to Fern dancing, and he feels like this is his big break. And I implore you, go watch this guy put on a show as a background actor.
Like,
It
takes
is-
it like a puff, and it's
he'll-
like, this is good
He's
stuff.
smoking like it's something not tobacco.
And
He's
then his
doing
watcher
this one.
dances.
He's like, yeah, like it is like, and you know what? When you're directing that scene and you got to make your time, you got to make your whatever, and you see it. Well, he's got to do it every time. And boy, is he the Daniel Day-Lewis of background actors. He's
Extra. I just
crushing
want you to
it.
know we see you and we
We
love
see
you. And
We've been
appreciate
there
your
and we
work.
love you. That's exactly right. Someone brought this up on Facebook, and so I want to bring it up now because I didn't realize it until they brought it up, which is every time that Kat goes to the 20s, Fern lets her borrow clothes, and Kat is half a foot taller than Fern.
That's funny.
Half a foot taller, and they show them standing next to each other, and you realize there's no way Fern could lend her clothes. There's just no world unless she's going to buy clothes. Two things just I need to point out. Fern is singing Tainted Love. We don't know why. Kat goes up and says, you're singing a song that hasn't been written for 60 years. No, that song was actually written by Gloria Jones, or sung by Gloria Jones about 40 years later. The soft cell version that you heard in the 80s is a cover. Give Gloria Jones some credit. Put some respect on Gloria Jones's name. And second of all, we've once again misunderstood prohibition and what it is. Drinking alcohol could not get you arrested. I don't know how many times
But that's
I
why
have
I'm
to say
saying
this.
I think there's something afoot here. Like when Cliff comes down,
Okay.
they like
Even though they
she
misunderstood it the first time.
yeah, but I think it's all like I think it could potentially be a part of it.
Okay. So,
You know?
Okay. All right. So you think that they know what they're doing. I would love for you to be right.
The only thing I like when he comes downstairs, Kat collapses. And Fern and Cliff
Janot,
kind of
yes.
look at each other.
Okay.
They look down at her.
Cahoots.
It could be in cahoots.
Could be.
Are you
Go.
good?
No, good.
Really
Sink or swim.
quickly, sink or swim. You go ahead, Rye Guy.
Yeah, I think that honestly, Dan, this kind of ties back to what your point of your hot take. I hope they explain. This is like a really overarching, big picture question, but I hope they explain why the pond and why this bloodline for the pond. That could have been this whole season. They've never really done that.
Especially when Fern just casually says, it started with my, I believe, grandfather or great-grandfather. Like, she casually says she knows the first Landry that could jump.
Yeah.
She just says that. Like, we all know that, and we don't all know that.
No, it's really never been covered or asked. And
I can use this as mine since I know we're up against it a bit. If we know when it started, we could trace it and maybe solve that mystery. And that would be, I don't know, a better season 4.
Yeah, I mean, that really would have been the best version of season 4 is like,
Yeah.
why can they do this?
Yes.
And why can only this family
What
do
a great
it?
mystery to solve on your way out.
And I will say mine really quickly. I know a lot of people have thrown this out there, that the thing that they're still wondering about, this is a comment that we got on our YouTube from Blue Cosmos. It says, what is left on my board is, can Alice and Nick be back together? You remember Nick?
I do.
Remember Nick? Old Nick is apparently going to be in episode 4 or 5. Will there be a little something there? Alice now has graduated high school.
Almighty.
Oh my God.
Guys, this is what the people are looking for. Someone's got to bring it up. Will we get the closure? I don't know. We did it, everybody. We'll be back next time with another one. Coming back for that. Until then, maybe the first to wish you a Merry Christmas.
We did it. Deck the Hallmarks of Bramble Jam podcast produced by Brandon Gray. And yeah, that Greenville, South Carolina. For more information on the show, go to deckthehallmark.com or at Deck the Hallmark on the socials. Head on over to Apple Podcasts. Leave us a 5-star rating and review. Help others find this wonderful podcast and join the best community in the world.
Wow.
It got away from me. BrambleJamPlus.com. I can't promise that, but you'll get ad-free podcasting. We did it.